Getting started soon. Toss any links to cool stories into the Discord. Where's Waldo? Oh hi KBP. Damn it Elon, you messed up my role. Oh hi Waldo. Clickbait title, but it should still be fun. A Waldo clickbaiting, say it ain't so. I know right. I mean you were wrong about Trump, he's his middle name. Junebug. Junebug.
Oh, hi. Hello. How you doing? My name is Waldo, and I am here to feel the news with you. I'm here to feel the
Oh,
politics with
hi.
you. Oh, hi. Yeah, perfect. Good timing. I got a puppy dog. You want to see him? His hair is just way too long. Look at all this.
We love you, Bobo.
He's starting to understand the schedule. And when I sit down here and turn the thing on, turn the lights on, and all that fun stuff, he starts showing up and it starts crawling around underneath my feet, saying, "Hey, hey, 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 it's time to play." And I'm like, "Nah, man, I got to work. This is stream time. What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me, Bobo?" But anyway, hi, how you doing? My name is Waldo, and I'm here to feel the politics with you. How's everybody doing tonight? I am doing good. I am doing great. What is today? Today is Wednesday. That's my normal stream day. So what I've got for you tonight is a couple of headlines, a couple of stories. Then I'll do a deep dive into one specific one, give you my opinion and my specific perspective on it. That's what I'm trying to do here. And then if we run out of time, we might start looking for like hurricane cams and stuff like to look at. So if you've got a good hurricane cam, hop into the Discord and tell us about it. If you've got a real cool cam that you've been watching, go on over to this Discord right here, or the Discord. Either one is good, but I prefer the Discord. My left hand moved faster than my right, so it's a thing. Did you lose the toe? No, I did not. I just kicked it. I bang my toes all the time, man. Like I didn't even notice. I didn't even slow down stream. I mean, I slowed down to tell you about it, but yeah, I bang my toes around all the time. I smash my fingers. I'm a big dumb oaf, and then I smash things, and I hit things, and I bang my head on stuff, and I'm kind of the juggernaut. I'm kind of invincible. And when I bump into stuff, usually the stuff breaks. You know, I've broken walls and things like that before just because I kept walking and ran into them. It's a whole thing. It's a thing I have to deal with. I break tools sometimes. I think, there was one time I like broke a power tool because I just kept, and then everybody yelled at me. They were like, "Well, why'd you keep turning the screws?" And I was like, "I don't know. They kept turning." It's a whole thing. Anywho, so Bobo is here and he is bugging me. So yeah, today's Wednesday. We'll look at some things. Clickbait title. Yes, I know. Clickbait title. But what was I wrong about? I'll tell you in just a minute. Stick around. Watching from the car. Oh, cool. I'm glad you are in the car. I'm glad you're here. Should I, I was looking the other day for inspiration and other YouTubers and stuff like that on how they got to be so big and why I am so small. And I think it's because I don't post these and I don't record these in the car. Apparently, half the internet is jackasses in their car recording videos, and I don't get it. Like, I would not ever watch somebody from a car part of them. Yeah. Thank you, sir. They are creating the video in their car. I don't get it. Like, why is half of YouTube just goobers saying shit in their car? Don't they have computers? Don't they have nice light setups? Don't they have cameras, webcams, and nice lights and stuff like that? Yeah, you're gonna be a car and eating. Yeah, okay. I'm doing this whole streaming thing wrong. Apparently, Shinsento's got it, and you got to be in your car eating while talking out your ass. It's a whole thing. I thought I could talk out my ass from right here at my computer desk, but no. Waldo, you got to be in your car. I'll work on that. I'm way off topic. Why am I so far off topic? Well, because I was stalling. My clickbait title, let's talk about what I got wrong and why. So, what did I get wrong? Did I get something wrong? Yes, I got something wrong. I have been, for a couple of years now, suggesting to you that Donald Trump is an authoritarian surrounded by fascists. But I was wrong. Donald Trump is also a fascist. Bad news, everybody. Oops, I'm not good at this job. Let's press the button with the window captures and put it right. Where are you? Oh, you're not on the screen. You have to be up here. Then we go to this button. Then we go to this button. Then when we do the drop down thing, it will be there and it should say, why aren't you here? Christ almighty. Hang on. Sorry, guys. I got so excited. I have the screen. It's here. It's up. They're ready to go. Why is the window capture not working? It's not there. I can't put anything up on the screen. OBS has dicked me again. All right, let's go here. Let's go here. Let's click this. Let's go there. This shouldn't be hard. Window capture. Drop down arrow. There it is. Damn. It took like 4 tries. What are you doing to me, OBS? I did the same thing twice and got a different result on the second try. Anyway, sorry. Let me try that again. You could try smoking salvia and then driving. I heard it works for some YouTubers. I'll smoke a bunch of salvia, then I'll go drive and then make a YouTube video, and it'll be great. Everybody will love it. If you make a snarky, semi-racist point and then take a bite, YouTube money just rolls in. You're right. That's what I should do. Anywho, Donald Trump is also fascist. Who knew? Donald Trump suggests undocumented immigrants who commit murder have bad genes. It's in their blood. It's the way they're born. They're just born different, you guys. They're just born wrong. So let's get some eugenics, because that's the one thing that we didn't have in this election year yet. Eugenics, everybody. That's where we are. One side is unironically suggesting that you're born a murderer and you have bad genes. And let's listen to him say it. I mean, we got it on video, so that this is going to sink him, right? Right? This is going to be the thing that ruins him?
She wants to go into government housing. She wants to go into government feeding. She wants to feed.
Government housing and government feeding. He's been listening. You guys, I told you he's been watching my streams. I told you this, and you thought I was crazy. You thought I was just, yeah, Waldo, you're just being silly. But when I talk about decommodifying housing, he misunderstands it. Okay? Donald Junebug Trump, listen. I know you're watching. When I talk about decommodifying housing, you don't understand it. Your brain too small. Don't work. You can't comprehend the complicated process I'm suggesting. And then when I talk about decommodifying food or something like that, he thinks it's government food. She wants to do government housing, government food. That's what she wants. So he's been listening to me, but he's too small brained to comprehend. So let's start this over and listen to what he had to say.
She wants to go into government housing. She wants to go into government feeding. She wants to feed people. She wants to feed people governmentally. She wants to go into a communist party type system. When you look at the things that she proposes, they're so far off. She has no clue. How about allowing people to come through an open border, 13,000 of which were murderers? Many of them murdered far more than one person, and they're now happily living in the United States. You know, now a murderer, I believe this, it's in their genes. And we got a lot of bad genes in our country right now. They had 400.
It's in their genes, and we got a lot of bad genes in our country right now. What are we going to do? We're going to round up all those bad genes. We're going to put them on a train, and we're going to send them to a camp. This is what I was wrong about. This is why I made the title the clickbait title that I made. I used to say that Donald Trump was an authoritarian surrounded by fascists. That he wasn't ideologically fascist. He just wants what he wants and when he wants it and the way he wants it. And he just thinks that he's right all the time. And so he should be in charge and he's an authoritarian. So he is an authoritarian. But now we've gotten into the eugenics part of the 2024 election. And it's going exactly the way I expected it to, honestly. Donald Trump finally slips up and tells you that he's a eugenicist, that he thinks that these things are in a person's genes and that we got a lot of bad genes in our country. Jenkos and the Levi's. Well, the Levi's are not bad jeans. The Levi's are good. I think I'm wearing Levi's right now. The Jenkos, no one knows what Jenkos are. No one knows what Jenkos are. Every time somebody sees a pair of jeans, they're like, are those Jenkos? And you're like, no. What? Stupid? No. Anywho. The point of my clickbait title tonight was to say that I thought he was an authoritarian, but now he's a fascist. He's past the bar, man. He has gone beyond. Does it matter? No. No, it does not matter. His fans don't care. They agree with him. They absolutely are on board for the thing he's going to be pushing right there, which is the people with this bloodline don't belong on this soil. You see? Bad genes in our country. Bad blood on our soil. He is making Nazi, fascist, blood and soil arguments. And I didn't think he had it in him. Honestly, I didn't think he did. I thought he was just an authoritarian, and he was just surrounded by all these opportunists like Stephen Miller and all those other fascists that follow him around. Bannon. Bannon's a white nationalist for sure. And Tucker Carlson and all those kinds of guys. They're white nationalists. They're Christian nationalists. They want a country of white Christian straight people. And if you're not those things, they don't want you here. They want you out. They want you hidden. They want you in a closet. They want you to leave. Because that is the way they would like the country to be structured. Because it makes them feel good. They feel like that won't, there will be less crime because of that. Because they feel like they are the enlightened people who never do anything wrong. Now, none of that's true, and it doesn't make any sense, and it's anti-American, but they don't care. Let's read what he had to say. Let's go back here, go up there, and oops, that's the wrong button. Come on. Second failed tonight. Okay. On Monday, Trump suggested undocumented immigrants who commit murder have bad genes, in the latest example of former president using dehumanizing rhetoric as he tries to stoke fears about those in the country illegally. On a radio interview with Hugh Hewitt, he again distorted statistics on immigration and crime. That whole 13,000 murderers, it's not real. He falsely claimed she was allowing people to come through an open border, 13,000 of which were murderers. How does he know that? Where does he get these numbers? You hear that? That was the sound of him pulling it out of his ass, because he makes everything up. You know, a murderer. I believe this. It's in their genes, and we got a lot bad genes in our country right now. CNN has reached out to Trump campaign for comment, but they don't care about CNN, so they don't give a shit. And anybody who's watching CNN doesn't give a shit either about Trump. If you're a Trump fan, you don't watch CNN. God, no. They'll tell you things that might be true. It was the latest instance of Trump using dehumanizing and disparaging rhetoric as he targets undocumented immigrants and vows mass deportations if he's reelected. Trump has made curbing illegal immigration a central part of his 2024 campaign messaging and regularly uses inflammatory and degrading language when describing undocumented immigrants. And this is all the stuff he said in the past, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we know. Okay. But yeah, I think we've jumped to the next level. I mean, he was always anti-immigrant, but it was the illegal kind. But then it turns out the ones that are in Springfield, Ohio are legal immigrants, but he wants them out too because their skin is the wrong color. That's why. He makes up lies about them and he doesn't care. Doesn't matter. And his fans cheer him on. They clap him. They talk a big game about him, and they create memes, and they just go online and they just feed fake information to each other, vomiting, regurgitating fake information into each other's faces all day long. I don't know if you've ever been on Twitter. You shouldn't. It's awful. But that's all they do. They just puke fake news into each other's faces all day long. And then when one of them adds a little bit of spice about Haitians eating cats, they all love it, and they all just regurgitate it back and forth into each other's faces again. It's disturbing. It really is. And we're going to talk about that later in the stream when I have a rant. I have a whole Charlie Kirk thing built up and a new graphic. Boom, boom, boom. New, exciting, fun graphic that I've been working on. And KBP took a look at it. He gave me a hand with it today. And so I'm gonna have a new little thing to put up on the screen later. And well, maybe I'll print it out too, and I can use it as a physical prop. It might be fun. I don't know. Let me know what you think when we get there. But let's keep going with the super fun and important Trump updates. So let's keep it going. What are we looking at? Okay, this is from 60 Minutes. Now, 60 Minutes, very boomer, maybe even older than boomers. This could be some greatest generation bullshit of people that are super excited to talk about the news. This is the 60 Minutes, very old. Your grandpa watches 60 Minutes. Your grandpa loves it, okay? The internet is a scary place, Waldo. I'll do my best. Let's see what 60 Minutes had to say about Donald Trump today.
A week ago, Trump backed out. The campaign offered shifting explanations.
Shifting explanations of why they didn't do a thing? Are you sure we're talking about the same Donald Trump?
A week ago, Trump backed out. The campaign offered shifting explanations. First, it complained that we would fact-check the interview.
Hey, are you guys going to be fact-checking? Okay, no? Oh, you fact-checking? Okay, well then no. Then we're leaving. We're not having this interview if you're going to be fact-checking. Okay? Fact-checking is a liberal scam where they tell you things that are true instead of things that we believe. So, yeah, he's going to back out for fact-checking. I was told there were going to be no fact-checking.
We fact-check every story. Later,
they fact-check every story. They're a news organization, man. That's like their job. That's what they're supposed to do. Dipshit.
Trump said he needed an apology for his interview in 2020. Trump claims correspondent Leslie Stahl said in that interview that Hunter Biden's controversial laptop came from Russia. She never said that. Trump has said his opponent doesn't do interviews because she can't handle them. He had previously declined another debate with Harris, so tonight may have been the largest audience for the candidates between now and Election Day. Our questions addressed the economy, immigration, reproductive rights, and the wars in the Middle East and Europe. Both campaigns understood this special would go ahead if either candidate backed out. And so, with that, here's Bill Whitaker.
It's the very rare 60 Minutes slam, okay? It's not often that 60 Minutes burns your ass, but they have this time. He does not speak in reality. Donald Trump does not live in the same reality plane that you do. He lives in his own little bubble of fake news, fiction, and yes men. Even to get to him, you have to go through 17 layers of Narnia to get to where he is. He wasn't going to bring that reporter 17 layers into Narnia in there with him, and he's not going to come out. He's comfy in there. It's nice in there. Okay? He's not leaving Narnia. That's where he belongs. He's the smartest, strongest man in the world in Narnia. But out here, in reality, he's a lying con man. He doesn't want to come out here. And he's not going to go in front of a news reporter who's going to ask him questions. Gross. That's stupid. He's pathetic. He's absolutely awful. And he might be winning. I don't think he is. I think that we're all getting lied to slightly about his chances right now. 17-layer dipshit, yeah. Also, Trump, I'm sorry you're a whiner and can't handle a little pushback. Right. Should we? Let's apologize. Donald Trump, I'm sorry that you have lost your mind and don't remember what happened 4 years ago. I'm sorry that you don't remember what happened on your 60 Minutes interview 4 years ago. I'm willing to bet, if you wanted to, you could go to YouTube and find it. Just watch it. Find out whether or not she said the laptop came from Russia. According to that guy, she never said that. But according to you, she did. I'm going to believe them. I am. Sorry. You do tend to lie a lot, Mr. Trump. So let's make fun of him a little bit more. Let's insult him for being the baby and the whiner and the crying bitch that he is. He knows he's not doing well. So he's avoiding the press, which is exactly what they said about her last week, about Kamala last week. But she's been on 5 different interviews this week, and they're all screaming about how awful that is. They have no median, no center point. If Trump does it, it's great. If Kamala does it, it's bad. If Trump avoids the news, that's smart and brilliant. If Kamala avoids the news, it's because she's weak. If Donald Trump skips on interviews, it's because he's a genius with a 4D chess plan. If Kamala skips an interview, it's because she's scared of the questions. If it's bad, it's about them. If it's good, it's about Trump. Like, guys, get another strategy. Move. I mean, at least come to the arguments, or at least bring some arguments. But anyway, let me move on. I'm rambling. The 60-minute slam. So let's move on from the 60-minute slam into this fucking guy. Woodward's book reveals Trump calls with Putin and Biden's private remarks on Obama and Netanyahu. So, okay. Trump has had as many as 7 private phone calls with Vladimir Putin since leaving office, and secretly sent the Russian president COVID-19 test machine during the height of the pandemic, Bob Woodward reported in his new book, War. First of all, fuck Donald Trump, right? Okay, obviously. For having 7 phone calls with Vladimir Putin when he wasn't in charge. That's illegal. That makes this whole Russia thing more obvious and more correct and more blatant. But, and fuck Trump for sending him the COVID testing machine, you know? But also, while we're here, fuck Bob Woodward for not telling us sooner. Why? How long has Bob Woodward known about this? He didn't tell us because he was putting it in a book so he can sell the book. And then he can come out in October of an election year, talk about all the important secret things he's got in his book, and all you got to do is pay him $19.95 to buy the book. Fuck Bob Woodward, too. He's an author, sure, but he used to be a newsman, which is important because it's news. You see? You should tell people when you find out. It's new. Okay, news, N-E-W-S, is right there in the name, N-E-W, new. So when you found this out, you should have reported it. Instead, Bob Woodward took it, said, oh man, that's really interesting, wrote it down in a book, and then saved it for a year or two. We could have been figuring this out for the past year or two to find out if he's a traitor, if he's let things slip. And when he was doing these phone calls with Vladimir Putin, it's when he had all that top secret stuff in Mar-a-Lago. Those two things overlap on the calendar. They overlap. Why didn't we know about this sooner, Bob Woodward? I mean, yeah, Donald Trump's a piece of shit for doing it, but you're kind of a piece of shit for not telling us until now, because you wanted it to be a super cool slam, an October surprise, an October slam, and then you get to be famous, you get to be important, you get to be the main character during October. So I don't like that guy either. That guy kind of making me mad. But still, let's see if this is even true. Bob Woodward says it is, and he's usually saying things that are true. Usually when Bob Woodward says the things, he doesn't lie. He's got an impeccable reputation. So the famed Watergate reporter also details President Joe Biden's frustrations with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, assorted burner phones. What is this? This has nothing to do with anything. We're talking about Trump. Joe Biden bitching about other leaders afterward isn't important. Trump denied their reporting, telling ABC News' Jonathan Karl that Woodward is a storyteller, a bad one, and he's lost his marbles. Trump previously spoken to Woodward for the journalist's 2021 book, Rage. Trump later sued over it, claiming Woodward never had permission to publicly release recordings of their interviews for the book. The publisher and Woodward denied his allegations. You can't trust Trump. He's always a liar. Trump had multiple calls with Putin since his White House term ended. Woodward reports that Trump asked an aide to leave his office in the Florida resort so that the former president could have a private call with Putin in early 2024. So this is 24. Never mind. Maybe I was wrong about that whole thing. Editor Waldo, cut that bit out. The aide, from whom Woodward doesn't name, said that there had been multiple calls between Trump and Putin since Trump left office, perhaps as many as 7, according to the book, though it doesn't detail what they discussed. Trump's senior advisor and longtime aide Jason Miller told Woodward that he had not heard Trump was having phone calls with Putin. I'd push back on that, but Miller also said, according to the book, I'm sure they know how to get in touch with each other. So it's just one guy saying it. I'll just edit it out, Bonathan. I'll just chop it out. It's easy. The last time Woodward was there was in 2021, asking him about the last book that he wrote. But then, and the book in 2021, if Bob Woodward was in Mar-a-Lago, that's when the documents were still there. So they were still there in 21. Bob Woodward and those phone calls, had they happened, would have happened while those things were in the room. I can be wrong about that, and I'll tell you I'm wrong about that. So, if this happened in early 24, so that would have been January, February, March, somewhere around there, a few months ago, that's not a good sign. I don't like that idea at all, that Donald Trump's calling up and speaking to Putin. That isn't good. Carolinas, hi. Thanks for coming. Apparently, Donald Trump has been talking to Putin on the phone. Great. What could possibly go wrong? And the COVID thing, that doesn't surprise me. I'm not super angry about that. I recognize that the president of Russia is going to be like, hey, friend, can I have one of those machines? And then the president gives him one. I'm not too worried about it. I recognize the high level fucking diplomacy that was going there. You could do it in a diplomatic way too. You could be like, hey, yeah, of course I can give you one. We're friends, remember? Right. Just be chill. I'm not too mad about that. This is the Waldo was wrong stream. It's all safe this time. Yeah. yeah. Clickbait title tonight, because I was wrong. So I'm wrong about a thing, but then I found the problem real fast. So let me think. Yeah, the phone calls are a bad thing. I don't want him doing foreign diplomacy or promising Putin shit that he'll do when he gets back into power, because then that gives Putin, that guy who keeps interfering in our elections, reason to interfere. It gives him it gives him assurances that he'll get stuff if he participates. So Putin is now participating in the election because Donald Trump wants him to. And Donald Trump might have made him promises and telling him things that he wants to hear. Where are the Republicans who pissed and moaned, screamed and bitched about Hillary's email server? Buttery mails. Let's have Canute say that.
Buttery mails.
There they are, buttery mails. If I listen to a conservative and take their arguments at face value, you shouldn't, but I will, just for the moment. Hillary took her work home with her and set up a server inside her own house. Lots of people have done that, but don't tell them. So that she could get email and do work from home. And according to them, this is a hell-worthy trespass that should never be forgiven, because Russia might have been able to hack into it. There's no evidence to suggest that they did, but they might have been able to. And because of this, she needs to burn and fail and never be the president and can never be trusted again. Donald Trump, while not president, speaks to Vladimir Putin. Crickets from the Republican side. They're not even talking about this. They're just saying, oh, the Dems are doing Russia again. It's always been true. It's always been the thing that happened. He is in league with Russia. And if they can benefit him, he will do whatever he wants to benefit himself. He will use their power, their authority, their money, their influence campaigns to benefit himself. Yes, he will. And then when Putin asks for a favor, he'll give it to him. That has always been the complaint. And the evidence keeps mounting that he is in bed with Russia. Republicans don't care. They'll just put a big old blind spot in front of it. Hint, hint, wink, wink. That is a foreshadowing. I did a foreshadowing for the thing that's going to come later. So stick around for that. Let's see. Carolinas, listen, tomorrow, I promise, I'm going to try and get TTS working on YouTube again. I'm going to try again tomorrow. I'm not promising that I'll get it done. I'm just going to promise I'll try to get TTS working on YouTube again. Or ever. It's never worked. I'll give it another shot. So let's get rid of this one. Susan Rice says Trump's calls with Putin appear illegal. So maybe they're illegal. Former White House advisor and United Nations ambassador Susan Rice called out former President Trump over a report that he has spoken with Russian President Vladimir Putin at least 7 times since leaving office, suggested such calls would violate the Logan Act. So there is a law that suggests he shouldn't do that, but it doesn't matter. Who cares? The law, which makes it illegal for American citizens to negotiate with foreign governments in dispute with the United States without prior approval, was introduced in 1799 and is meant to prevent unauthorized diplomacy from undermining the current administration's position. Unauthorized diplomacy. That's exactly what he would be doing. Trump is an idiot. Putin is actually quite clever. I'm not saying I'm not going to say Putin's a genius or that he's overly smart. He's clever. He understands how to play people. Donald Trump is easily played. Give him a little bit of compliments, sprinkle some bullshit in there, tell him what he wants to hear, and he'll bend over backwards to make you happy. That's what he wants. He wants Putin to be happy with him, and he wants Putin to be happy with him. They want to be best friends. And that makes me think that you shouldn't be calling this guy unsanctioned diplomacy. Unauthorized diplomacy. Not a good thing. Not going to go well for us. Not going to go well for me. It's going to go well for Donald Trump. He's going to get some fucking money out of it. He's going to have a great time. And then he might get Putin pushing more election interference in his favor. So it's good for him to do. It's just bad for the country. But I don't think he cares. And his fans simply don't care. That's for sure. Speaking of his fans, look at this one. Elon Musk has been funding Trump's anti-immigrant mastermind. Stephen Miller is a Nazi, right? And Elon Musk has been giving him money. Donations uncovered by the Wall Street Journal reveal that Musk has spent millions in back anti-immigration and anti-transgender initiatives. Long gone are the innocent days where the media outlets claimed the independence and nuance of politics of Elon Musk. Now, amid myriad ex-posts spreading far-right propaganda on immigrants, trans people, and just about any other topic, it has become obvious where one of the richest men in the world stands. This week, there was more proof that Musk has put his money where his mouth is. According to a report from the Wall Street Journal, Musk poured tens of millions of dollars into Republican campaigns and conservative groups even before he publicly endorsed Donald Trump in July. Conservatives helped conceal Musk's contributions through so-called social welfare or dark money groups that do not have to disclose their donors and can raise unlimited funds. Musk did not respond to the Journal's request for comment. One piece of reporting stood out. The newspaper found that the tech billionaire donated more than $50 million he's got to spread around. Motherfucker can't fucking... Oof. This irritates me so much. So much money wasted for campaign advertisements for Citizens for Sanity, a group connected to the former Trump aide Stephen Miller and his nonprofit America First legal bill, the long-awaited answer to the ACLU. America First Legal, which bills itself as the long-awaited answer to the ACLU. You know the ACLU, those really cool lawyers that protect everybody's rights? Stephen Miller hates them. because he's a Nazi. He doesn't want you to have rights. He wants you to have only what he gives you. He wants you to only get what the hard right-wing fascist government allows you to have. If he doesn't like your rights, you don't get them. The ACLU, conservatives bitch about them all the time. Yes, I know. Who is the ACLU? I'm going to look this up so I don't get the definition wrong. But conservatives bitch about them a lot. Here we go. American Civil Liberties Union. The American Civil Liberties Union, a nonprofit civil rights organization. In all 50 states, the ACLU provides legal assistance in cases where it considers civil liberties at risk. Legal support from the ACLU can take on the form of direct legal representation or preparation, expressing legal arguments when another firm is already providing representation. In addition to representing persons and organizations in a lawsuit, ACLU lobbies for policy positions established by its board of directors. So the ACLU, this is their current positions: opposing the death penalty, supporting same-sex marriage, the right of LGBT people to adopt, supporting reproductive rights such as birth control and abortion, eliminating discrimination against women and minorities, LGBT people, decarceration? What is that? Decarceration. Involves government policies and community campaigns for reducing the number of people held in custody. Oh, decarcerational. Okay, all right. Protecting housing and employment rights of veterans, reforming sex offender registries, and protecting housing and employment rights of convicted first-time offenders. Supporting the rights of prisoners and opposing torture. Opposing torture. Upholding the separation of church and state by opposing government preference for religion over non-religion or for particular faiths over others, and supporting the legality of gender-affirming treatments, including those that are government-funded for trans youth. Stephen Miller hates all of that. He hates it, man. He hates all of that. And in an attempt to make the world a worse place, he's creating the answer to the ACLU, the Legion of Doom, if you would. I think, isn't that what they're called? The opposite of the Super Friends. They're like the Legion of Doom, or is that something else? The Legion of Evil, maybe. What were the bad guys called on Super Friends? I think they were Legion of Doom. Oh yeah, you're right, Shinsinto. Musk is the evil foreign rich person that they claim Soros is. The Legion of Dicks. No, that's a different thing. I think it's the Legion of Doom. Regardless, he wants the opposite of the ACLU, to take your freedom away. You're not supposed to have that freedom because it makes him feel icky. He doesn't want you to have the freedom to do these things. He doesn't want you to do it. If he doesn't want to do any of these things, that's fine. If he doesn't want to be an LGBT person, he doesn't have to. If he doesn't want to separate, well, the church and state's the thing. But if he doesn't want to transition, he doesn't have to. If he doesn't want to get any gender-affirming treatments, he doesn't have to. But he's not going to let you do it either. You don't get to do those things because he doesn't like it. Are you following the train of thought here? You don't get the freedom to do things if Stephen Miller doesn't like it. He's the most out-and-out fascist that Donald Trump has ever employed. He is the furthest down the Nazi pipeline. And Elon Musk gave him $50 million. He could make he could give 1 million people. Now he could give 50 people $1 million each, and it would change their lives, and he would do much better. But instead, he's giving money to Nazis. Lots of money to Nazis. Elon Musk gives lots of money to Nazis. I mean, it's here. It's happening. And there's nothing we can do about it because Donald Trump is getting 49% of the vote. Even supervillains aren't that bad. Yeah, Legion of Legends. League of Legends. Yeah. League of Legends. Yeah, that's the name. Still more toxic. Yeah, somehow League of Legends more toxic than Stephen Miller still. So let's see what else we've got to look at tonight. If you're watching, if you're paying attention, hop in the chat. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're feeling. I appreciate everybody who was here. Thank you very much. If you want to go to the Discord, you can leave links to fun stories. I'll bring them up on the screen. We'll fill them all out together. If you want to watch old content, you can do so on the YouTube page right there. Go to the YouTube. I take the best bits of the streams and turn them into little videos and pump those videos out and put them on the thing for the algorithm to ignore. It's a good time. The next thing we're going to talk about tonight is Tim Walz said something awesome, which is great. I love it. I really like this guy. I like it when he says good things. Here's another good thing he said. The Electoral College needs to go.
Eating a.
You're eating a burrito. That's great news. See, Walz saves us. Yeah, I know. Walz, please save us. More walls, fewer gates. That's our new catchphrase. More walls, W-A-L-Z, fewer gates, G-A-E-T-Z. Make Canute say that. T-T-S. More walls, fewer gates.
More walls, fewer gators.
Oh, that's gators. Yeah, that's also bad. Seawalls. Yeah, seawalls are all over the place tonight. It's a big day for seawalls, isn't it? Well, okay. So, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, cool guy. I hate websites. I swear, dude. Have you ever been on a website? They're fucking terrible. That's why you're failing websites, because you suck. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, the Democratic Party's vice president nominee, suggested Tuesday night that the Electoral College should be abolished during 2 West Coast campaign stops. He mentioned the concept during fundraisers in Seattle and in Sacramento, California, while talking to donors in deep blue areas. And we know, because of our system of the Electoral College, that puts a few states in real focus. I'm a national popular vote guy, but that's not the world we live in. In Sacramento later in the day, he was talking about the pivotal battleground states that will decide the election and said the Electoral College should end. I think all of us know the Electoral College needs to go. We need a national popular vote, but that's not the world we live in, so we need to win Beaver County, Pennsylvania. We need to go into York, Pennsylvania and win. We need to be in Western Wisconsin and win. We need to be in Reno and win. But he didn't even call for the end of it. He said, we all need it. No, it needs to go, but we don't live there right now. Maybe he can promise to get rid of it in the future. That would be nice. That's what politics are supposed to do. That's what politicians are supposed to do. They're supposed to look at the things that are going on and tell you what they're going to do in the future and then have you vote for them. That's the plan. Hey, my name is Tim Walz, and I would like to get rid of that Electoral College. Great. Waldo's voting for you. Fantastic. The Electoral College is a leftover from the slavery days, from after the Civil War. The South did not want their black people to vote, and they didn't want to be counted in the census, and so they created this cockamamie scheme where of the Electoral College. I'm going to double check that I'm telling you the truth. Because I'm talking out my ass right now. But if I remember my history correctly, history. Let's go to the history tab. History. The Constitution provided the original plan for which the electors would vote a president. Under the original plan, each elector cast 2 votes for president. Electors did not vote for vice president. Whoever received the majority of votes would electors would become president, with the person receiving the second most votes becoming the vice president. According to Stanley Chang, the original plan of the Electoral College was based upon several assumptions. The anticipation of the framers' Constitution. Choice of the president should reflect the sense of the people in a particular time. Choice to be made decisively with full and fair expression of the public will, but also maintaining a little opportunity as possible for tumult and disorder. Individual electors would be elected by citizens on a district-by-district basis. Voting for president would include the widest electorate allowed by each state. Presidential elector would exercise independent judgment when voting, deliberating with the most complete information available in the system over the time, tending to bring about good administration of laws passed by Congress, because this is the shit that happened before we had phones. This is back when we weren't sure who the fuck voted for what, because all we had was paper and a fucking Pony Express. There was no electricity. The function of the College of Electors is choosing a president can be likened to that of the Roman Catholic Church of the College of Cardinals, selecting a pope. Let's see. Breakdown and revision. In spite of Hamilton's assertion that the electors were to be chosen by mass election, initially the state legislators chose the electors in most of the states. Let's get to after the Civil War. Evolution from unpledged and pledged electors. So this might be it. No. There's a lot of history to go over. There we go. Here we go. 3/5 clause of the role of slavery. After the initial estimates agreed that the original Constitution, congressional and electoral college reappointment was made according to the decennial census to reflect population changes, modified by counting 3/5 of slaves. So each of those slaves was only 3/5 of a person. On this basis, after the first census, the Electoral College still gave the free men and slave-owning states, but never slaves, extra power, electors, based on a court count of 3 disenfranchised people in the choice of the U.S. president. Of these disenfranchised people, at the Constitutional Convention, the college composition, in theory, amounted to 49 votes for northern states in the process of abolishing slavery and 42 for the slaveholding states, including Delaware. In the event that the first 1788 presidential election lacked votes for electors for ratified Rhode Island 3, North Carolina, New York, which reported too late, the northern majority was 38 to 35. For the next 2 decades, the 3/5 clause led to electors on free soil northern states numbering 8% and 11%, more than the southern states. The latter had, in the compromise, relinquished counting 2/5 of their slaves, and after 1810 were outnumbered by 15 to 23. So they were fucking around with the numbers. Yeah, they were fucking around with the numbers. So that they could have more power. Everybody was fucking around with the numbers so they get more power. That's the problem with the damn thing. If you start fucking around with numbers, and you start fucking around with who gets how many electoral votes, and then you start fucking around with, like Trump did in 2020, you get to fuck around. The Electoral College causes more fucking around and less direct votes. So that's why I don't like it. They fucked around with it. When the Electoral College gets fucked around all the time. It is a fuck around and find out kind of a thing. And it's what they were fucking around with during the Civil War. It's what they started fucking around with after Reconstruction. They fucked around with it in 2020. Get rid of it. It is not a sturdy vessel, is what I'm getting to. It's not strong. It's not sturdy. It is janky and full of holes. Fix it. You can fix it by getting rid of it. Yes, it's in the Constitution, but you can change the Constitution. We have amendments for that. The Constitution also used to tell you that beer was illegal. Doesn't do that anymore. Things can change. All right, we're going to close that because I don't know enough about it. I'm talking out my ass. Then... all right, here we go into my super cool rant. We're going to close this. We're going to save this for later. We're going to save this for later. And we're going to do this right now. But Waldo, the rural states, I don't care. The rural states have fewer people. Their votes, one person, one vote. Why is that hard? Why does the rural state need why does the rural state need a Chicago vote to be worth 0.75 and then the Montana vote be worth 1.25. No, it doesn't even out. You know what I'm saying? One person, one vote. I'm okay with leaving the states to appoint those things, but no, I'm not, because that's just the Electoral College. Abandon it. Yeah, national popular vote. Get wrecked. Get out. I don't care. But then California and New York will pick the president. Yeah, that's where the people are. Jackass. That's where the people are. vast empty tracts of wheat fields do not actually get to vote. They don't. I've never watched 20 acres of wheat field walk into a middle school into a voting booth and vote. They don't do that. People vote. But the tyranny of the majority, that's called democracy. I know. We have a system, we're supposed to have a system that protects you from the tyranny of the majority. That's called the court system. But that has turned into its own little activist clubhouse. So whatever law you don't like, you just become a judge and then fight against or something like that. It's very strange. We used to, that total tyranny of the majority thing used to be taken care of by courts, but they don't do that no more. They're busy rewriting all the laws. That's what happens in court these days. That's what we do. It's a weird system, and I don't like it. But that's where we're at. I'm fighting with my cord over here because it's too long and too short at the same time. Bobo won't leave me alone. He's under my feet. He's distracting me. And when I jump off a camera like that, it's because I have to reach down and get a spit covered. Disgusting. I mean, this thing is filthy. Okay? It is disgusting. But it is covered in dog spit. But I have to throw it or else he won't go away. Whew. Let's see. What is going on? GG Dillagaff. We're being held hostage by our government. We might be being held hostage by you. I don't know where you typed that. You're not on Kick chat. You're not on Twitch chat. You're not on YouTube chat. You're a superpower. You're a hacker. Maybe you're the one holding us steady. Or did Kick chat go down? Is that why KBP came over to Twitch? Weird. Anywho. No, okay, yeah. Kick chat seems to be working. Twitch chat seems to be working. Yeah, it seems to be working. Gigi, I don't know where you are, but you are inside my head somehow. You're inside my stream. You're not in any of my chats. There it is. You're on YouTube. Okay, cool. It didn't, the first one, not kidding, didn't show up on my little monitor window down there. It is now. This second message you've sent is on the window, but that first one wasn't. And I was like, oh my God, are you inside my house? Is it Jonathan? Is it coming from the inside? Are you inside my computer? It's a ghost. Zoink Scoob, it's a ghost. Okay, so what are we talking about next? Next up is one of my favorite people, Charlie Kirk. So Charlie Kirk is very unhappy because millions of Christians are not voting, and it's become a 5-alarm fire for Donald Trump. So this thing came out, this bit of polling came out, and conservative commentator Charlie Kirk warned that millions of born-again and mainline Christians choosing not to vote in the upcoming election could pose a serious threat to Donald Trump's re-election efforts. Get those emo Waldos in chat ready, because we're talking about the Christians again. Citing survey data from pollster George Barna, Kirk describes the situation as a 5-alarm fire for Trump, noting that 41 million born-again Christians and 32 million mainline Christians, there's a difference between them that they know and I don't know. It's probably magic thinking, or nonsense, are not planning to vote. And then he goes to Twitter, as he does, to complain about it. The local church must be activated to explain why voting is critical. The local church must be activated. You need your pastor to be more authoritarian and tell you to vote for Donald Trump. We cannot expect President Trump to have more Christian ethos if the church refuses to vote. We cannot expect President Trump to be more pro-life if our own people won't back him up at the ballot box. The local church must be activated. Oh, man, Charlie, follow me here. Listen, okay? Don't follow. We already proved that Donald Trump watches the stream. You feel my pain for the stinky toy I must throw. Yeah. You got a dog. You got a little doggy too, huh? Wrong button. Wrong thing. I'm a believer, but I don't trust organized religion. Right, and you wouldn't trust a pastor who listened to Charlie Kirk and then told you what to do. That's exactly why you don't trust it, I suspect, because of that kind of authoritarianism. Charlie, follow me here. Why don't these Christians want to vote for Trump? They hold conservative opinions, and they want to support Republican plans, but they might be staying home on Election Day, and when they're being polled, they seem not super enthused to actually be voting for Trump. Charlie, you have it completely backward, which is the usual position for a conservative. Backward. Trump is supposed to be selling himself to the voters, convincing them that he is the best choice for the job. If he is failing and the regular everyday Christians don't want to follow him, that's because Trump is a charlatan, a crook, a liar. He has broken every commandment and he has committed every sin. He is not a Christian. He does not care about the things these pastors or their congregation care about, unless it specifically benefits him somehow. He only offers lip service towards your beliefs so that you will vote for him. He is a false prophet. They can see that with their own eyes, but you don't want them to see that, do you, Charlie? No. You need to keep them ignorant of his flaws, oblivious to his lies, and uninformed of his failures. Charlie Kirk manufactures blind spots. When Trump says something crazy, he sane washes it. When Trump says that the 6-week abortion ban is too short in Florida, they hide those statements, deny that that's what he meant, and explain what he actually meant, creating blind spots for the conservative to hide behind. If the news points out a Trump lie, Charlie Kirk discredits them by saying George Soros owns the media, creating a blind spot. Here, look at this one. I got one specifically here. Here we go. Let's look at this one right here. We're going to take a quick break. I know I'm in mid-rant, but I'm going to grab the doggy because he's under my feet and he won't shut up. Look at this little gremlin. Look at him. We got our hairstyle at the same place. Look at me, I poop on the floor.
Bobo the Bark Boy Show.
It's tough when he interrupts me mid-rant, you know? Okay. Rant continue. Let's, not a choice to stay home voting straight red ticket. Charlie, doesn't matter who is president. We need conservative values, House and Senate, and they call the shots. Hey, doggy. Thanks for coming in here. Thanks for giving me your hot take. So what was I talking about? Oh, okay. So I've been bouncing around this new idea of a conservative blind spot. Let me look at this. Let's look at this one here. So I've got one here, right here. There we go. Webcam screen. Getting reports that a left-leaning group just dropped 20,000 voter registration forms in Maricopa County on the last day. This is almost assuredly a Democrat dump at the end to try and inject chaos and bring litigation to give the Democrats something more opportunity to manipulate the law and squeeze in more registrations. It's bad when they register people. Here's Charlie Kirk also. Just got the final numbers from the team. On the last day of voter registration in Arizona, TP Action registered over 3,000 new voters. Massive grassroots victory. Tomorrow ballots go out. Now we chase. When the Dems do it, it's chaos and left-leaning group and a complex conspiracy. But when he does it, it's a massive grassroots victory. They're doing the same thing. This isn't some complex idea. He says it's wrong when they register voters and awesome when he registers them. He's inventing blind spots for conservatives that they can use to hide behind from unpleasant reality. I've been saying it for years that Republicans and conservatives are anti-reality, which I still think is true. what I'm describing here is simply the mechanism by which they each create their own anti-reality filter by applying and removing the blind spots as necessary to achieve the outcome they desire most. We saw Marjorie Taylor Greene do this the other day by saying humans can't change the climate. Conservatives can hide from the unpleasant facts about climate change. Humans can't change the climate, and she puts up her, hang on, here we go, her blind spot. See? So she puts up her blind spot. Humans can't change the climate. She can hide behind the blind spot. Did it pop up on screen? Do you guys see that? Wait, where'd you go? Exactly. Yeah. It's the conservative blind spot. My YouTube monitoring window is like a minute behind, and it made me nervous that it wasn't there, and I'm talking about nonsense. So the conservative blind spot is what I'm talking about. She has that blind spot when she talks about that humans can't change the weather, but then when she needs to blame the Dems for creating the hurricane, the blind spot vanishes. Isn't that nice? Isn't that convenient? That when she wants to deny climate change, boop, boop, boop. Humans can't control the weather, but when she wants to blame Dems for creating a hurricane, she can, and she will. She'll just remove the blind spots. She will apply them and remove them anytime she wants to get to any conclusion that she wants. I look like a psychops. It's true. It's pretty good. And if I try to point out the flaws in their logic, they throw up new blind spots. You know, she'll be like, yeah, well, there was this one climate scientist that actually said that it was a scam. And then I creep around over here and I'm like, hey, Marge, you know, that was actually, that guy was paid by Exxon. And then she just moves it. And then I come over here, I'm like, hey, listen, no, Exxon paid that climate scientist a whole lot of money. Hey, Marge, listen, no, I don't think you heard me. That climate scientist that you say is calling it a scam, they actually got paid off by Exxon. And they can just move it around as much as they want. Those are extremists. Also, I say vote your conscience, people. Use your God-given brain. Well, I think that's the main crux of conservatives right now. I think most conservatives have a few of these conservative blind spots. And then, okay, so yeah, even if I am able to like work around her, I'm not like, hey, that guy was paid. She'll just move the blind spot to somewhere else and then say, well, how many Soros bucks did you get for reporting those climate change numbers? Putting it right back in front of me. I'll be like, I've never taken any money from George Soros. I don't take money from George Soros. I'm a very small YouTuber. There's nothing I've ever done that would be considered propaganda. And then what happens after that? I'm not talking about climate change anymore. I'm dodging the blind spots. This is what arguing with a conservative is like. They put up a blind spot. You have to go around it and be like, actually, this is how it is. And they'll put it up over here. And then you go over there. And you're not talking about climate change anymore. You're defending yourself against crazy claims that you take money from George Soros, which is insane. Look at you should see my lighting setup. I'm very poor. Anyway, okay, so, doggy between my feet. So, I've completely lost my train of thought, but, so I'll be looking for these blind spots. What I'm going to do is, pay attention and watch for those blind spots. I'll be looking for them, and I hope you will too. I think I'll make a channel on the Discord, and you can type them up as you see them, and feel free to toss any that you think you can think of. Some of my favorites are do your own research. That's one of my favorites. Usually that comes from the conspiracy theorists, and it just means watch the YouTubers that they like and back up their beliefs until you and then repeat their propaganda. That's what do your own research means generally. George Soros is a good one. Any media report that comes out, conservatives feel, if any media report comes out and it makes a conservative feel bad, they can just say that it was paid for by George Soros. Hey, that new thing came out, and that new jobs number came out. Oh, no, it was George Soros. George Soros cheated on those numbers, and you don't have to pay attention to it. Hey, we got this new report or any kind of news information. Oh, yeah, hey, we covered some tonight with Donald Trump having 7 phone calls with Vladimir Putin. No. It's just Russia. You can't look at that. You can't see that. Russia is an old thing, and they talked about it, and you can't trust anything that comes on MSNBC or CNN, obviously. People don't believe it when you tell them exactly. I'll subscribe on that. I appreciate it, Gigi. Thank you. Research isn't, hey, Google Friends. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's not how research works. Or ignore any information that doesn't agree with the outcome you're looking for. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They're creating the blind spots. So Gigi subscribed, and that's super cool. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It might set off a whole chain reaction of those little sounds, or maybe not. I'm not sure. Yeah, see, okay. So I can't fix this. Again, I know Carolinas, if you're still here, YouTube sucks, and I hate it. And those things only show up if I'm live and somebody subscribes. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much. But it, like, say, if imagine I post this up on YouTube tomorrow and 7 people subscribed to it, it'll save up 7 little blings until somebody subscribes in the live show. It's so weird, and I do not understand why the robot doesn't work properly. It's a bot issue. It doesn't work well. I wrestle with this bot all the time, and it still doesn't do TTS on YouTube. But I appreciate it. I can complain about things later. What else was I thinking of that? Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, you can't trust blank media. Insert whichever one you want. You can't trust CNN. I discuss things with conservatives every once in a while, and I'll use CNN as a source, and they're like, "Oh, you can't trust CNN. That's Clinton News Network, don't you know?" And this is a blind spot. They just get to say, "No, you can't trust CNN. You can't listen to CNN. You can't listen to MSNBC. You can't listen to the New York Times. You can't listen to Wikipedia." That's what they do, is they just put that blinder up. If I go to Wikipedia and say, hey, here's the thing that it said it was, and you're like, well, no, you can't listen to Wikipedia. Don't listen to Wikipedia. That's crazy. They edit that stuff. Well, yes, sometimes things have to be edited, but I believe Wikipedia edits it properly. And so if you are seeing these things, why am I pointing this out? I'm trying to give you my perspective. I'm trying to discuss with you what I think is happening and how it's happening. Not just Trump bad. Great. Well, he is bad. But why is he bad? What has he done that is bad? What is he doing to make things worse? What is the mechanisms of action that he's using to accomplish these things? And I think that this is one of them. First of all, he personally misunderstands everything, creates a delusion, and spreads fear. MDF, always. I've been talking about that one for a couple of weeks now. But what do his followers use? They use this selective and mobile blind spot. But read between the messages and find the source. Yeah, exactly. Look for the source of information so that you can know what's going on. Absolutely a great idea. Check multiple sources. Check a couple of different places. Check some people that you trust and check some people that you don't trust and see if they agree. Or a new source that you've never used before. See if they agree with your old sources. It's all good methodology. And then is Conservapedia still a thing? That used to be the answer for conservatives. They had a Wikipedia that was called Conservapedia, and it was just a list of all the fake stuff that they like to tell each other. They gathered up all the conservative alternative facts into one place, so you didn't need to find your blind spot somewhere else. He's telling his followers what his followers are telling him. Yeah. I do think Trump is sort of like a parrot. He is a gray macaw. I've used this one before, but he is a type of African parrot that doesn't really know what the words are. A parrot can say, "Polly want a cracker." Does he know he's saying his name? No. Does he know what a cracker is? No. He just knows when I make this sound, I get fed. When Donald Trump makes the sound, he gets applause, and the people clap, and the people cheer, and they give him, and he feels good. I think that's what he's doing. And because of that, I think that he doesn't really know what he's talking about most of the time. He does the MDF, which is the thing I came up with last week: misunderstand, create a delusion, spread fear, because he doesn't understand what's going on. And he follow me here, Gigi. You're my conservative for the night. I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. But Donald Trump misunderstands what's happening with any given situation, any particular issue. You can listen to him talk, and I think he misunderstands. He misunderstands the word asylum. That's my favorite one. He heard about people at the southern border asking for asylum. Now, in his broken brain, the only time he's ever heard the word asylum is the insane asylum. So he misunderstands what political asylum even is, creates a delusion in his own head of mental institutions emptying their patients. The mental institutions are all empty. They emptied all the patients onto our border. So that delusion that he has created, he then shares with everyone. So he misunderstands, he creates a delusion, and then he spreads the fear. And I think he does that on every single issue ever, forever. That's why he's so hard to talk to for the news media and stuff like that, because they don't think that he would willingly, and then he runs with it. Yeah, it's hard to fight against it when he's already run with it, said it 100 times, and now his fans are saying it to the news media. It's very hard to defeat that. You can say it's untrue, sure. There's no evidence that any asylum has emptied its patients onto the southern border. There's no evidence for such. Doesn't matter. He's already said it 1,000 times to billions of people, probably billions of people have heard that thing, and now they think it's true. It's difficult to fight with. It's a difficult thing to wrestle with, but I think that that's what we have to do. And I think we can do that by understanding the mechanism, understand why he's misunderstanding, what the delusion is, why he's spreading the fear, and the blind spots that I've been talking about today. If we understand how and what this is, we might be able to comprehend how to discuss it, stuff like that. And yeah, the media sane washes him. Yeah, exactly. Because they don't know this blind spot exists. They don't comprehend it. They've never thought about it. They're not being philosophers about it. Also, completely unimportant, super duper tangent, I did this. Okay. So, as I was playing with the blind spot, I was like, oh, I could just do this too, right? And it just makes me happy. Wow. Thank you, Ponathan. Thank you very much, sir. I'm going to keep this in here just in case I need it. If I ever need it, it's right there. Okay. It's a simple button. I just have to be in exactly the right place. So I'm way over here. It doesn't follow me. I'm not a VTuber. It's not going to follow me. No, I did spend about 10 minutes today. He loves it. You guys, I'm so glad. Super Saiyan Waldo. Yeah, it's I spent about 10 minutes trying to get into exactly the right spot and make it exactly the right size so that could work. And what I'll do is it's still here if I need it. It made me giggle. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thanks for the bits, Ponathan. It's just me being silly, and I appreciate you being here for me being silly. Let me get a drink of water. Anytime I need it, it's there, and I'll break it out when necessary. But you guys know it's there, just waiting for the right moment. What else is in the news tonight? Tonight, what time is it? It's 8:15. So let's look at this guy. Where did the guy go? Not that guy. That guy. Let's look at that guy. So that guy is Cenk Uygur. Now, he is definitely a liberal and a leftist and a progressive. He really is. I think he's gone off the deep end. That's what I'm going to say. I think he's gone off the deep end. And I think he went off the deep end for the same reason everybody else does. Money, 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 money. Okay? He is now bankrolled, or what's the word? Sponsored. That's the word. Not bankrolled. Sponsored. He is now sponsored by Polymarket. Polymarket is an outside the America company that bets on elections. That shit's illegal in America, so they had to move it off campus. Okay, so it's outside of America, run and owned and operated by Peter Thiel, who is not to be trusted. He sends motorcycles anytime I start talking about him. Anyhow, so yeah, Peter Thiel, not to be trusted, has now, the term is bought off. Yeah, so maybe Cenk's been bought off. I don't know. Classic dude, it's like clockwork. I know, right? Well, there's somebody who lives on the street who does the motorcycle just 4 times a day. It's 5 times a day if I'm streaming. I think Cenk has been bought off because he was in a little bit of trouble. He had a large organization, but because of everybody going back to work and COVID being over, we didn't watch YouTube streams as much as often. That's why I chose to start one when it's least effective. I love playing life on hard mode. So when everybody stopped streaming and stopped watching streams, his revenue took a hit. He employs lots of people. He wants to have a giant news organization. I don't. I just want to be me and get bits when I do this. That's just what I want. But he wants to own and operate his own CNN, And because the revenue started dropping, he started begging for more money. He started hounding his followers. He started hounding his subscribers, telling them they needed to join the thing and we can't do it without you and all that fun stuff. But then he took money from Polymarket to be possibly bought off. And now Polymarket, the manipulative gambling scam website powered by crypto and fascism, is putting out polls. He's about to, I haven't watched this yet, but I think he's about to read us one of those polls. So let's see what he has to say. I just immediately looked at the title, Kamala Harris now losing the race. I know where this came from. Yeah, I haven't watched this yet. I haven't pre-watched, I promise. He's looking at the Polymarket report, which is trying to make it more exciting so that more people pay attention, so that more people bid and more people bet, and is trying to game the system so that they make more money. If saying Kamala's in the lead makes Polymarket more money, that's what they'll say. It doesn't have to be true. They don't need it to be true. They'll just say it. If saying Donald Trump is in the lead makes Polymarket more money, that's what they'll do. Doesn't matter if any of the numbers are correct. They'll cheat. They'll change the numbers until it says what they want it to say. So I haven't listened to this. I haven't listened to Cenk. I have listened to him in the past because he's usually correct about things. But I think over the past 6 months or so, he has absolutely been bought off. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Because new polls are out and it doesn't look good for Kamala Harris. I have not been this worried in a long time. So we don't have a lot of time left. We have less than a month left, and she's now losing in almost all the swing states. So I'm going to break down all the numbers for you guys. They don't look great. I'm going to give you what people in D.C. are saying, Democratic Party are saying, Republican pollsters, everyone across the board, how are the markets doing, et cetera. First, look, I'm telling you this, not again to haha or whatever. I'm telling you because the pundits are almost always wrong. They never come back and tell you, oh yeah, we got it wrong, et cetera. They don't tell you oftentimes ahead of time. They do Monday morning quarterback. They've, all those different things that they do wrong. The reason I tell you guys stuff ahead of time is so you can see whether I'm right or not. So you can see whether you should trust our analysis of what is reality, not what we want, but what is reality. So
normally I would believe him and I would be super important and I would be like, oh my gosh, let's listen to this. Let's check it out. But I think he works for Polymarket now because they're trying to manipulate the odds. That's right, Shinseto. That's exactly what I think Polymarket is trying to do. They own the gambling site. They want to make more money. And now they own an internet newsman who can report what they want him to report.
So that's why in that context, let me tell you, 4 days ago, this weekend on October 5th, I wrote, I think Trump is going to retake the lead. Kamala started playing prevent defense with too small a lead by having her surrogates tell everyone how pro-business she is. She accidentally gave up the mantle of the change candidate. That's what's going to decide this election. Now, she did other things wrong too, and I'll get into that in a second. And but I started getting the same sense over the weekend that I got the weekend before the 2016 election. You go back and you read my tweets from that weekend, from early November of 2016, and I start saying, oh boy, a lot of signs are looking bad. I know Hillary Clinton has a big lead, but I'm super worried. Every spidey sense I have, every poll, every anecdote, not poll, the polls were mixed, okay? And Hillary Clinton was leading in the polls overall, but the underlying numbers were scaring me. So all of those things were leading me to go, watch out, warning. You remember what I said on election night in 2016 over and over again, brace for impact, right? And so I hate to say that to you right now. And there's still plenty of time to turn it around. Not plenty of time, but some time. And I think she can turn it around because it's not like it's over. It's not like it's a blowout. No, she's got a small disadvantage in the swing states, but it is definitely a disadvantage. So let me start breaking it down for you guys. First, I'll start with the smallest piece of evidence, and I'll work up to numbers and the biggest piece of evidence. So Mark Halperin is a guy who was an establishment insider for a long time. Was all over MSNBC and Morning Joe for a long time. He had personal issues, etc. You take this with a grain of salt, especially because he's talking about private polls. But he says that in all the private polls that he is seeing, she's now losing almost everywhere.
Almost everywhere.
Let me give you one of his quotes. He says, the conversation I'm having with Trump people and Democrats with data are extremely bullish on Trump's chances in the last 48 hours. Extremely bullish. We think of the 7 battleground states. Which one is Harris in danger of losing? I would say Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, North Carolina, and Georgia. Well, that's almost all of them. And he finishes by saying, I'm not saying she'll lose all 6, but she is in danger. I want you to take note of the fact that it's in the last 48 hours that this has happened. Now, that's why I told you about me saying it over the weekend. Because, guys, there are certain things you do that make a difference, and especially in an election this tight. Running towards populism and trying to serve the average American works. Running towards big business and Dick Cheney does not work. It's a bad strategy. Hiding from the press does not work. Saying that you're the same as Biden does not work. Saying Trump's a bad guy. Brother, I mean, we've been doing this for over 10 years. Nobody says Trump's a bad guy more than I do. We got a whole TrumpBrackets.com about all the terrible things that he did. You're not going to outdo me on how terrible you think Trump is. But that's not the point right now. The point is, how do you win this election? And it's not rocket science. You offer the average American things that they need and things that they want. You should be their representative. You should be their fighter. You should be out there fighting for them. And right now, they're not seeing it. So when I saw that they weren't doing the fundamentals right, I said, uh-oh, now she's going to lose the lead. And she has. So I wish to God I wasn't right. Sometimes I feel like...
he hasn't mentioned Polymarket yet, which means maybe I'm a crazy person and should have watched this before I brought it to you, but that wouldn't be any fun. He hasn't said anything super wrong so far. I don't know that she is behind. I haven't heard anything about this, but maybe he knows more people than I do. I'm sure he does. He just talked about... I'm just reading from my house, right?
And you know how, if you never saw that, Disney movie, I think it was a Disney movie. Anyway, it's an animated movie. It's beautiful. It's Madrigal, and Encanto is the name of the movie. Anyways, all the kids know we don't talk about Bruno. No. And it's a guy whose magic power is to be able to tell the future. But people hate him for it because he winds up being right. And then they think, oh, did he cause it? And I feel like I'm in that movie. And the establishment keeps saying we caused it when we tell them ahead of time, watch out, iceberg straight ahead. Obviously, we said that in a giant way about Joe Biden, and they didn't listen for a long, long time. Now they realize it. But by the way, later they'll pretend that Biden was the right candidate. Anyways, but the point is that I wish I was wrong about it, but you could see these trends. We're not wrong. There's a reason why Bernie had a 12-point lead on Donald Trump on election day in 2016. It's not because we're biased towards our side. It's because economic populism works. Hey, I'll tell you when I don't think these days progressive social issues are a winning strategy. So we're super honest about it. I don't know what more we can do to convince them, but let me give you more information. So now this is a CNN reporter, Priscilla Alvarez, talking to Dana Bash on air.
You're still talking about CNN,
and she
not
says,
Polymarket.
What's also creeping in now is that anxiety. The reason for that is because these polls are not really moving despite multiple battleground blitzes, despite the opportunities she has had across media outlets. Now, let me pause there to clarify. The polls are moving a little bit towards Trump, and a little bit takes it from a small lead she had to a small lead he has. And that makes a giant difference. They're saying it's not moving in a positive direction for Kamala Harris. That's why the Democrats are the ones that have the anxiety, as she's explaining here. She says, quote, there's still not a lot of movement from voters who are moving more towards her versus former President Donald Trump. In fact, I had one source describe it to me this way, quote, people are nervous. They know the polls are tight. A lot of us are having these flashbacks of 2016 too. We know when it can go the wrong way and it can still feel fresh. So now.
Because Dems are wieners. I get this. I know this. I recognize that Democrats are wieners. I know. I'm sorry. They are. They get scared. They get skittish. But why would you get, I don't know. He hasn't brought up any polls yet either.
A lot of people are talking about 2016, and it's not just guys like me who are warning, watch out. Okay. It's even the establishment types are beginning to see those polls and they're getting super nervous. So I'm going to give you those in 1 second here, but one more piece of data, and that is about the markets. So you can say, hey, the markets isn't polling and I don't believe the markets. You can say anything you like. Okay. But the reality is people are putting their money behind this. So it's not like just.
There it is. There's the poly market. He doesn't call it poly. He said the markets. They're putting their money behind it. He means betting.
Knuckleheads going, what's the big deal? No, they're putting their money where their mouth is. And it's not end all be all, but it is a factor. And by the way, you know what Poly Market was super right about? That's the market that I use. That's one of our sponsors. But I look at it all the time because it's been right on a lot of things. And the thing that it was most right about was Tim Walz. And I didn't think that she had any chance of picking him. And when I see something, predict something better than I do, I go, whoa. Yeah, and that might be a little bit of my arrogance to say the least, but I'm just being honest with you guys. And so, and markets can often tell you where the crowd is going, and they might know something you don't know, or they have a sense of it. Remember, everybody's in their bubble, and this gives you the whole national bubble. So anyway, I'm on polymarket.com. Now, Kamala Harris had taken a small lead, and I was like 51-49, or I was like, I don't think so. I think Kamala had a bigger lead back then when I was talking about 2 weeks ago. And even a week ago, I thought, right around now, Wednesday-ish of last week, I thought she's got a lead. And I thought there was some chance she could expand it, but then she's done everything wrong since then. And now it's 53-46. That's not that close for Trump, obviously. So that's a 7-point lead for Trump. So now the markets are feeling like, he's taking the lead. So now let's get to the numbers.
And then he's just going to repeat their numbers. So I'm going to end it right there. Because I wanted to know if he was going to pull out the poly market stuff, and he has. Polymarket cannot be trusted. It is owned by crypto bros and wants you to feel things. If they can make you feel things, if they can give you the sense of dread, maybe you won't come out. If they can manipulate the market, they will, to make more money. They don't care what's real. They don't care what's true. And they don't care if they're wrong as long as they get paid at the end. So according to their wonderful drawing here, Trump gets all of these. That's fine. We can turn those red if that's what they want. And he's won exactly with 270.
This is like predicting the next Smash fighter. Is it going to be Kamala or Harris? I don't know.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Kamala or Harris? That doesn't make any. That's the same person.
You're fired. Get out of my office. That was the Stream Jedi. Thanks for coming. Polymarket's pushing this one right here. This is the map Polymarket is pushing. I think that this is incorrect, and she actually wins Pennsylvania. But they're saying that right there, North Carolina, Georgia, this is what the Polymarket is going to suggest to you is going to happen, 270, 268. Not impossible. But I really don't think that she's going to lose in Pennsylvania. They've got a Democratic governor, and he's pushing for her, and he has very high numbers, which means that there are people in Pennsylvania who want to vote blue. And I think this is the most likely map we can look at. I think that she might actually get Georgia as well. That's just my guess, but it could be wrong. I could be wrong. Georgia's going to be a mess no matter what. Georgia, the Bark Boys are barking up a storm down there. There's a cat outside or something, like a squirrel. Yeah, they're going nuts. So, yeah, these are the numbers that I think make the most sense. This is where I'm putting it at. I even pushed her towards saying that even earlier, a couple of months ago, I said that she was going to win Georgia, and it'll put her over to 303. I could be wrong. Georgia is a mess right now, and the people who work for Trump work in the polls, and that's going to be a fucking mess. Georgia is not going to be settled for weeks, honestly. Yeah, Bork. Yeah, too many Borks. And I think that Georgia should be just called toss-up and take it out of the argument completely, because it's going to be a shit show. Everything in Georgia is going to be a shit show. This is where the fight is going to happen. Now, here's where we get in trouble. If we are here at the end of election night, where, well, let's even give him Arizona. If this is where we are, this is a possibility. This is the worst case scenario right here. This right here is worst case scenario. Donald Trump takes Arizona. He takes Pennsylvania. Georgia becomes a fucking war zone. And I mean an actual literal war zone with people fighting in the street, stabbing each other, killing each other, blowing things up. Actual violence. Jan 6th, all that shit you saw on Jan 6th will just happen through the entire state of Georgia. At every polling station, at every counting station, all of the shit goes to shit in Georgia if we are at 257, 265. Because whoever wins Georgia would be the winner, 273 or 281, you see. This is worst case scenario. Really is. If Kamala takes Pennsylvania, none of that matters. Doesn't fucking matter. If this is the map we're looking at and Georgia is still up in the air, doesn't matter. She's at 276. Who cares if he wins Georgia or if she wins Georgia? He's still under. So, battleground Georgia. And I mean actual literal battleground. If she loses Pennsylvania. She's not going to win Wisconsin and Michigan. Jenk's full of shit. She's ahead in Wisconsin. She's ahead in Michigan. She's probably ahead in Pennsylvania. And I think she's going to take Nevada. If Trump takes Nevada... Oh, I was wrong. If Trump takes Nevada and Arizona and Georgia... Yeah, it doesn't matter. Georgia's still the mess. Like, if she's got Pennsylvania, he can have Georgia. He can have Arizona. Oh, no, let's do it backwards. He can have Georgia. He can have Arizona. He can have Nevada. Because she's still at 270 if she gets Pennsylvania. She has three things that are important, and 4 things that are nice to have, which means she's in the lead. I don't know why Jenk's saying the opposite. He's being very weird. Whew. So that was it for me tonight. I appreciate everybody was here. Don't trust Polymarket. I guess that's the thing I'm trying to tell you. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate Gigi being a new subscriber. It's very nice. It's very cute, cool. You're like 203 or something like that. There's not a whole lot of them. Not a whole lot of survivors. Subscribers, not survivors. Subscribers, but I appreciate everybody. Thank you very much. I will be back. What's today? Wednesday. I'll be back on Saturday morning with more stuff, and we'll look at hurricane aftermath and all that fun stuff. So if you've got fun cams and pictures, toss them into the Discord. Yeah, it wasn't a slip up. There will be no survivors. There will be few survivors. But yeah, I appreciate everybody who was here tonight. Thank you very much. If you'd like to watch old vids, you can do so on the YouTube link right here. If you want to hop into the Discord, you can do so right there. Ponathan just cheered another 5 bits. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. If you he cheers for my bad spelling. And if you want to go to the Discord, you can go to it right there, hop in there, put links to stories, and then I will bring them up on the screen. We'll fill them out together, and it'll be interactive. It'll be a good old time. I didn't know about Polymarket until a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, Polymarket, it's new. It's a brand new kind of a thing. It is not to be trusted. It is run by crypto bros, Peter Thiel, and fascists, and it is a bad time. So I'll be back on Saturday morning. Thanks very much, everybody. I appreciate it. I'm going to go see what the Bark Boys are barking at. All right. It's probably a squirrel.